Listen to me closely, beloved soul. You have been asking in silence, will justice ever come? You carried wounds no one saw. You swallowed words you never spoke. You watched people twist your kindness and call it weakness. You watched them lie about. I watched them smile in public while quietly damaging your name. And there were nights when you looked at the ceiling in the dark, wondering if heaven saw any of it. I am here to tell you nothing was hidden, not one whisper, not one betrayal, not one manipulation, not one tear that fell when you thought no one noticed. We saw it all the moment they tried to isolate you, the moment they turned others against you, the moment they mocked your pain, and we saw the moment you chose silence instead of revenge. At that moment shook the spiritual world, because what they did to Yao was not small. We thought they were just hurting a person, but they were touching a soul protected by divine authority. They did not know who was watching. They did not know who was standing behind you in the unseen realm, and now something has begun to move. Justice is not always loud. Sometimes justice is a quiet rearranging of reality. Doors begin to close. Truth begins to surface. Masks begin to slip, and suddenly people start seeing what they once refused to see. You may not understand it yet, but the very things they tried to bury you with, they're being turned into evidence. If lies are collapsing under their own weight, because lies cannot serve where truth is protected by heaven. You wondered why you were told to stay calm. Your spirit kept telling you, do not fight them like they fight you. It was not weakness, it was strategy, because when heaven defends something, an outcome is permanent. If you had fought them the same way, it would have become a human battle, but now it is something else entirely. What they released against you is now circling back, not as revenge, but as balance. If universe always restores balance, when someone steals peace, they eventually lose their own. When someone spreads deception, their own truth begins to unravel. And you will see it, but here is something important you must understand. Justice is not only about what happens to them, it is also about what happens to Yao. While they were busy attacking you, heaven was quietly building something around you. Strength you did not have before, wisdom you did not know you needed, discernment that now allows you to see people clearly. You are no longer the same person they tried to break. You have become someone they cannot reach anymore. Their access to you has expired, and this is where the shift begins. Some of them are starting to feel it already. The discomfort, strange awareness that something they did is returning to their awareness. They may not say it out loud, but internally they know. They remember the moment they crossed the line, and now that memory is getting louder, because truth has a voice, and that voice cannot be silenced forever. You may notice something soon. People who once ignored you may begin treating you differently, not because you changed, but because the veil around the situation is being lifted. Suddenly your calmness makes sense. Suddenly your silence looks powerful. Suddenly your strength becomes visible. This is what divine justice looks like. It restores your dignity without you begging for it. It restores your name without you defending it. It restores your peace without you chasing. If sane people who misunderstood you may one day realize they were never the problem, but listen carefully. Do not let their realization pull you backwards. Justice is not an invitation to reopen old wounds. Justice is closer. You are not meant to return to what tried to destroy you. You are meant to rise above it. There is a new path forming in front of you a path where your energy is no longer wasted on proving yourself a path where your value is recognized by the right people. This shift will feel strange at first because you became used to defending your selfist, to explaining your selfist, to being misunderstood. Of those seasons are ending. Your life is entering a chapter where clarity surrounds you, where the right people recognize your heart, where your presence is respected instead of tested. This is part of the justice being released. Because heaven does not only correct wrongs, it elevates the ones who endured. Then the pain you walked through was not pointless, it refined you, it sharpened your intuition, it revealed who truly belonged in your life and who never did. And now the universe is responding. Situations are shifting. Energy is reorganizing. People who stood against you are slowly losing their influence while your path becomes clearer. You may not see every detail yet, but the movement has started and nothing can stop it now. Justice has already been set into motion. You do not need to chase it. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to keep walking forward, keep protecting your peace, keep trusting your inner guidance. Because the same divine presence it watched your sufferings, now guiding your restoration. Soon you will notice something beautiful. Pain that once controlled your thoughts will lose its power. Of memories that once hurt deeply will begin to feel distant, not because they never happened, but because you have outgrown them. And when that moment comes, you will realize something powerful. Justice did not only correct the situation, it transformed you. You became stronger than the betrayal. You became wiser than the manipulation. You became calmer than the chaos they tried to create. And that transformation is something no one can take from you. So breathe deeply, release the weight you have been carrying. You do not need to hold onto anger anymore. These scales are already balancing. What was unfair is being corrected. What was hidden is being revealed. What was broken is being restored. In the path ahead of you is no longer shaped by their actions. It is shaped by your purpose. Walk forward with confidence. Because heaven has already spoken. Justice is being released in your life. Eyes moving into a season where peace, truth, and dignity walk beside you. Every step of the way. And there is something else you must understand now. Justice does not arrive only one seat, unfolds in layers. The first layer is the moment the truth begins to surface. See, the second layer is the moment your spirit stops carrying the pain. But the deepest layer of justice is when your life begins to flourish in ways they never expected. Because the people who tried to diminish you believed something very specifically, believed your story would end in the shadow of what they did. They believed the damage would define you. They believed the lies would become permanent, but they miscalculated one thing. They underestimated the protection over your life. They underestimated the quiet strength inside your spirit, and most of all, they underestimated the patience of heaven. You see justice in the divine realmness. Never rush it, it waits, it observes, it allows every action, every word, every intent onto reveal itself fully. And once the truth is clear, correction begins. You may already feel the early signs of strange calmness. Here, anxiety once lived a quiet confidence you cannot fully explain. A feeling that something is aligning in your favor. That is not imagination, that is the shift beginning. Because when justice is released, your spirit recognizes it first before your eyes can Siege, you will start noticing small confirmation scone stores that reveal hidden truth situations, where people unknowingly expose themselves as monsters, where the narrative they created starts falling apart on its own end. You will not need to push anything new, will simply witness it, because truth carries its own power. It does not require force, it only requires time. Some of the people involved may begin experiencing their own awakening, a quiet realization that they crossed a line they should not have crossed. This realization may not come with apologies, and that is important for you to understand. Justice does not always include an apology. Sometimes the lesson they face internally is heavier than words could ever bear. Healing must not depend on their admission. Your peace must not depend on their guilt, because your freedom comes from releasing their power over your emotions, and that freedom is exactly what is unfolding now. You are being lifted out of the emotional gravity of what they did. You are being returned to yourself. Your laughter will return, your creativity will return, your trust in life will slowly return, and when it does, you will notice something surprising. The story that once felt like a wound will start to feel like a chapter that strengthened your spirit, not because the pain was small, but because your growth became larger than the pain. This is the deeper purpose behind justice. Sight restores balance, but it also reveals the resilience that was hidden inside. The other were moments when you almost gave up on yourself, moments when you wondered if maybe the things they said about you were true, moments when doubt tried to replace your confidence, but you continued. Devon, when your heart was heavy, even when you felt misunderstood, even when silence felt lonely, you continued down. Heaven never ignores that kind of perseverance. Every step you took while wounded was recorded. Every moment you chose dignity over retaliation was seen. Every time you protected your heart instead of becoming bitter, that choice strengthened your future. So now as justice unfolds, do not stand still looking backwards, do not become trapped watching their consequence. Your focus must remain on your path, because the greatest form of justice is the life you are about to step into. A life where peace becomes your normal state, a life where you are surrounded by people who value your sincerity, a life where your voice is respected instead of questioned. This is not a distant trend. This is the direction your life is moving, but it requires something from you. You must allow the past to release its hold. You must allow forgiveness, not for their benefit, but for your freedom. Forgiveness does not mean what they did was acceptable for you. It means you refuse to carry their darkness into your future. You deserve a future that is not polluted by their mistakes, and that future is already forming. Opportunities will appear that once seemed impossible. Connections will enter your life that bring genuine support. You will find yourself standing in places you never imagined reaching, and one day you will look back quietly, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with a deep understanding that everything you endured became the doorway to the life you were meant to live. It that moment you will realize this was never just about correcting them. Justice was about elevating you, lifting you above the environment that trying to suppress your spirit, guiding you toward a life that matches your true value. So do not doubt what is happening now. With energy around your life is shifting, the protection around you is strengthening. The truth about your journey is becoming visible. Justice is not coming, justice is already here. It is unfolding quietly. It is restoring your balance, it is clearing your path, and it is preparing you for a chapter of your life where your peace, dignity, and your purpose can finally exist without interference. So stand tall, no, breathe deeply, and keep moving forward, because what was meant to harm you has already been transformed into the very force of it is guiding you toward the life that was always waiting for you.